Every year, millions of people drive. They drive to work, school, events, and then they drive home. We are all aware of the risk being taken to be driving in the first place. Being in a vehicle that is going at intense speeds, not being able to control the other drivers around you, people deciding to drive recklessly or intoxicated, not following speed limits, and evidently just not being able to control what happens to you or the other passengers in the car. With all these already potential risks for a dangerous situation, the silent killer that goes particularly unmonitored by ourselves is distracted driving. With all of the socialness in our lives that is a direct result of our cell phones, we tend to blend driving and the use of them together. In order to combat the horrendous outcome of these behaviors, we must do all we can to take a stand against it. Distracted driving is the most dangerous form of irresponsible driving on the road, and it is progressively getting worse as generations continue to become more and more reliant on their phones. Today, I will share with you the problems with distracted driving, and particularly the dangers of driving on using your cell phone, the causes of these issues, and the practical solutions and precautions we can all take to make the road a safer place. First and foremost, let's take a look into the problem. Distracted driving is all too common. And because we are on our cell phones so much throughout the day, we think we can use them behind the wheel as well. According to Mutual of Enumclaw Insurance Company in 2022, around 12% of all fatal accidents were a direct cause of cell phone usage on the road alone. And it is a ripple effect. According to End Distracted Driving in 2022, teens whose parents use their phones on the road are 4 times more likely to use their phones themselves when they are able to drive. These issues alone lead into the underlying issues. Multitasking while driving is impossible. In statistical research done in 2021 by the Zebra, almost half of drivers text and drive, despite 70% of the half thinking that it is dangerous to drink and drive. They are, with texting and driving being almost 6 times more likely to cause an accident, people are obviously misinformed and naive to think that the two are very different. While people continue to think in such a manner, the seriousness of texting and driving keeps getting unaccounted for. People are unaware or maybe lack the self-control to stay off their phones while behind the wheel. This problem will inevitably grow and keep growing to later generations as children see their parents and their loved ones using their phones while they drive. Texting and driving is not the only thing distracting drivers, however. According to National Highway Transportation Safety Administration in 2019, eating and drinking, talking on the phone, changing navigation, changing stereo are all different forms of distracted driving. And with all the initial problems of distracted driving, there are horrendous consequences that also must follow. In studies conducted by Wallen Law in 2018, over 400,000 people were injured due to distracted driving related accidents in 2018 alone. This is not just 400,000 people, but 400,000 students, children, parents, families, workers, etc. 400,000 people that are loved. Now that you can see how dangerous this problem truly is, let's address the cause. Even a slight distraction for driving will affect your ability to focus your attention back on the road. And that is why multitasking while driving is impossible. Your brain can't focus on driving and other stimulus at the same time. Inattention blindness, according to National Highway Transportation Safety Administration in 2019, is a factor that must be considered when talking about distracted driving. According to NM Insurance Company in 2022, inattention blindness occurs when you are trying to look at the road and look at something else at the same time. Even if you are still trying to focus on the road, your brain will fail to comprehend objects or dangerous hazards in front of you, making it impossible for you to do the same thing, right? In an article also updated in 2024 by the Zebra, statistics shows that 40 to 60% of people have either talked on the phone, texted, or used a different kind of application while on the road. According to the NSC article updated in 2024, it takes approximately 5 seconds to send a text message. If you're going 55 miles per hour and look away for just 5 seconds, you're going about the length of a football field. The amount of things that can happen in that time and in that length can be detrimental and can be fatal. And it also takes 27 seconds for your brain to refocus on a task after being distracted. And so when you're on your phone, you check it for just a second, you're still going to take around 30 seconds to get readjusted and refocused on the road ahead of you. Now that we know the reasons for these ever-growing issues, we can move on to a way to find a solution for this issue. In order to combat the distraction of specifically texting and using cell phones while driving, an effective solution would be setting up your phone that would stop notifications and distractions throughout the course of your drive. Unfortunately, the sound of notifications or the shining of the light are socially recognizable as indicators that you have a new notification or message. If there was a way to stop buzzing, light, or other stimulating noises, then we would have far less urges or need to check our phones. I get that there are emergencies and other things like that, but there would be a way for the person contacting you to get a hold of you if it was a dire emergency. Although it would be extremely hard to ask people to stop using their phones altogether, making it so the notifications are not heard and are less obvious to our brain would lower those numbers detrimentally. With the other factors that cause distracted driving, it would also prove beneficial to educate drivers further into making sure navigation and directions are clear before getting on the road, making sure to eat while in a parking position, and if you need to check your phone, check it at a stoplight or in a parked position. Obviously, completely eliminating the problem altogether seems like a daunting task, but there are clearly many ways to avoid distracted driving and make the road a safer place for the people in the car and around it. Today, we discuss the dangers of distracted driving and specifically undeniable fact that using your phone is the worst form of distraction, why it is impossible to do both at once, and how you can avoid distraction while driving in the future for the safety of yourself and others. Distracted driving may seem like a common practice among your family, friends, and loved ones, but it is also a very dangerous one and an easy way to kill those exact same people. Distraction can look different for everyone, but the undeniable fact is that your brain cannot multitask, and it is important that the fact is instilled in every driver. Focus on the road and not on your phone. Thank you very much.